Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you play a song called Hot Boy by Shmurda. And we're going to start with kind of, and it's really around one chord, but it does sound slightly out of tune. Actually, this is a little weird. So right now I'm tuned in standard pitch to the tuner, but what you may want to do actually to play along with the recording is tighten up your tuners just a hair. It sounds like it may be like 10 cents sharp, like just a little bit high. But it really all is about a bass line around a D note. So you can kind of even start with just the open D string. And later on you'll hear some cool little licks come in around that, where you could play kind of the open D, 5th on the high E, 3rd fret on the high E, open E, and then 6th fret on the high E, 5th fret on the high E, 3rd fret on the high E, and then open E, and then you're kind of repeating that actually, especially towards the end. And you could even throw in that D note on all of those notes actually. So you might want to try this hybrid picking, taking the pick for the bass, using the fingers for the other note of the lick, to kind of add in the open D with those notes. So I'm kind of playing them at the same time. Open D, 5, 3, 0, 6, 5, 3, 5, 3, 6, 5, 3. Oh, might be kind of cool. Or the chord that would back that up would be a D minor chord. And the way you play D minor, first finger goes to the high E on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D minor chord. It sounds really, really sad. Now you may also dig on lifting off the 1st finger, making that a D suspended 2nd, or adding in the pinky on the high E 3rd for a D suspended chord and kind of work and say some things around the D minor. Or since we only have one chord, there's a lot of other places you could kind of play this too. Another way to play those same notes of a D minor chord is to do it in 1st finger on the high E 5th, 2nd finger on the B 6th, 3rd finger on the G 7, kind of working that. D's, F's, and A's, just in a different place. Or you could even take your 1st finger and kind of bar over the E, B, and G on the 10th fret. So I've got 10, 10, 10, and I'm playing those with the open D string actually, so that's kind of part of the chord too. So you may kind of experiment with those other shapes too. And there's a couple different strumming options you may want to play around with. Now randomly you could also work any other D minor chords though while we're talking about chords. If you know the bar D minor where you do 5th fret bar, 2nd finger on the B, 6th, 3rd finger on the D7, pinky on the G7, that would be an option. Lifting off the pinky and making that a D minor 7 could be very cool too. Or one of my favorite D minor chords of all time is working a D minor 9, where you could do 1st finger on the D 3rd, 2nd finger on the A 5th, 3rd finger over the G, B, and E on the 5th fret. There's a couple other D minor sounds you may want to kind of experiment with, and actually it can be very cool even kind of switching between all those different sounds through the tune. It can be very, very cool. You might kind of find a D minor that you love. But strum-wise, there's a couple different strumming options. You could kind of work kind of a down count on the D minor through the tune, kind of doing an 8 down count and kind of doing a little bit of muting with the right hand. Strum patterns for 4/4 like this is down, down, up, down, up. So if you do the D minor, just try that out. You have down, down, up, down, up. Or something else that can be kind of cool is to add basses to that. So you could even do the open D string as kind of a bass note for the D minor. So D minor bass, down, up. Match the tune a little bit better is something called the 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the D minor and do it down for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. And then on the third beat, you do it up on 2, down on 3. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down, 1 up, down. And then on the last beat, you'd be going down, up, down, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, down, down. So all together, you got down. Or you could add basses to that and make it a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down. Can all be cool little variations too. Kind of work that sixteenth around the D minor. That kind of occurred to me, kind of going through the tune too, is you could play around with this as a drop D idea. And what I mean by that is something called drop D tuning, where you take the E string and loosen up the tuner to make it a D note. So you got D, A, kind of a low thick D. Actually, I'll check that with my tuner. We'll make sure that's pretty close. Yeah, but it should sound like somewhere between the low, what used to be the E string, and the open D. Somewhere over the rainbow, if you want to kind of check it. And now your D minor sounds huge. You can even throw that in with any of those licks, actually. Or working on this, the EAD idea is kind of a drone idea. It's like, oh, it's huge, man. That's very cool. Or you can even use that low D note for your basses on those licks we were talking about. Stuff around those licks. Kind of playing around with those notes to make up some stuff. Or another scale that would completely work through the tune is something called a D minor pentatonic scale. Now, since we've already got a D and an A and a D on the low 3 strings, this could be very cool to play around with just a little piece of a D minor pentatonic. Kind of going 10th fret on the G string, 12th fret on the G, 10 on the B, 13 on the B, and then 10 on the high E, and then 13 on the high E. So I'm kind of playing an F and a G and an A and a C and a D and an F note. And if you wanted to, you could throw in that D string 12, or the D string 10, or the A string 12, or the A string on the 10. Could be cool. And making up licks. Or even holding that first finger down on the 10th fret over the G, B, and E for your D minor chord. Making up stuff around the scale. It could be very cool, wasn't it? So you might want to kind of see what you can say with it too. Or if you know other licks or other chords too. Like I said, the recording sounds just a hair sharp, so you may have to go to the tuners and tune them up just a hair to kind of match the D note that they're playing in the bass. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Hot Boy. So, good luck!